Good evening and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here I am on a super hot night. It's October 2nd, and this has got to be the hottest night up here on the mountain that I have ever experienced. It is just plain hot. It's like in the high 80s in my house. I'm continuing the story of the cats. Lizina was an amazing servant to the cats. Despite having cats under her feet, on the counters where she was preparing food, just all over the place whenever she was trying to do anything, she enjoyed it. She was careful not to step on any of the cats. She was constantly, messing around with the little kittens that were tumbling around on the floor. She took care of the old cat. It was the oldest cat that was in the house there, who had a lame paw. And she became a favorite of all of the cats, for they had never had a servant that kept the house so clean, prepared the meats in such a beautiful way, and took care of them with such love and care. Days wore on, and one day, an old cat came down the hill from a barn where he lived. Now, he was the father, so to speak, the grandfather, the grandsire of all the cats, and lived alone up on the hill in this barn. And he would come down to check on all of the other cats to see how everything was going. And when he got to the house, he asked the cats how they were liking their new servant. And the cats all together answered, "Oh, Father Gatto, we have never had a servant. We've never had a maid like Lizina. She takes care of us in the nicest of ways. She's careful with all of us, prepares our meals in the most beautiful ways, keeps our home clean and tidy, takes care of all of our needs, even before we can voice them." Now, Lizina had not started off feeling like she was doing such a great job of things because she didn't really understand the cat's ways. So she didn't ever feel like she could fully take care of them in the way that she thought they needed to be taken care of. But the cats loved her. And over time, she became really better and better at what she was doing. Every time Father Gatto came down to the house to check on how everything was, the cats would say the same thing. They loved Lizina. However, one time he came down and noticed that she was not looking as happy as she usually was. And the next time, it seemed a little more. She seemed to be quite melancholy. And then he came down again, and this third time when he came down, she was actually crying. And he asked her, "My sweet friend, what is it that's bothering you? Has someone been mean to you here?" She said, "Oh, no. All the cats treat me with such gentleness and care. But I'm missing home. It has been a long time since I've been there, and I would like to see my mother and my sister and hear how they're doing." Father Gatto said then, "You shall go. You need to go home. I will tell you, though, that when you do not have to come back unless it pleases you. But first, let me take you down and give you a gift from the cellar. It's a place that you have never been, for I always keep it locked, and I keep the key around my neck. Come down." Well, down they went, and Father Gatto unlocked the door, and into the little room they went. When they got into the room, there were two vats, very large. A person could easily submerged themselves in either one, and in fact, in each one there was a liquid. In the one, it looked like oil. In the other, it looked like shimmering liquid gold. Father Gatto turned to Lizina and said, "Now, which one shall I dip you in?" Lizina had inspected the two vats to see their contents. The one, the clear oil, she could see through, and the other one just was so brilliantly gold. She was amazed. Now, humble as she was, she said, "Well, dip me in the oil." Father Gatto said, "Oh, no, no," and picked her up between his two paws. Now, Father Gatto was a big cat, bigger, in fact, than a person. Standing on his rear legs, he picked her up and put her into the vat with the liquid gold. And we'll leave the story there and see what happens to Lizina.